Right guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Arcade Club livecast here from Arcade Club in Bury. Once again, I'm Ben, I'm joined by my good man Dan.
How you doing, guys?
And we're going to be taking you through this week of video games. Now, in comparison to other weeks, it's actually been kind of a quiet week in terms of news.
I was going to say we're going on a ride tonight.
Going to go on a ride.
But it's going to be a gentle ride.
Going to take you for a ride.
It's going to be a light ride. Not least because it's been a pretty desolate week in terms of
news.
The gameverse. Are people waiting for the big release of the week, Resident Evil 2?
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, there's some interesting indie titles that have come out that we'll talk about later. But on the whole, it's been something of a quiet week. Which is in stark contrast to our weekend just gone at Arcade Club, which was absolutely hammered.
I wasn't here.
We've had a lot of new,
What a weekend to have off, eh, guys?
Yeah, we had a lot of new games come in, and so I guess people have come to check them out.
Yeah.
Seem very popular, which is only ever a good thing. Anyway, how are you, my friend?
I'm good.
What you got for me?
My week has pretty much consisted of the same thing of the last 2 weeks, really. Just waiting for that Resident Evil, man. Just waiting on that Resident Evil. Of course, a bit of a correction. I was talking about how Kingdom Hearts is coming out on the same day. It is the same day for the US, but for Europe, it's actually the 29th.
Okay, that gives you a good
2
days to finish RE2, which apparently doable.
Yeah, it's a Resident Evil game, so if you have the skills, then yeah, you can do it. You can do it, for sure. But I'm actually going to be holding back a little bit on Kingdom Hearts, just so I feel like I need to, because I actually have been, it was a couple of months back, I did actually revisit the series and actually try to go back through it.
Tried to go back through it.
You see, here's the thing. Kingdom Hearts 2, fantastic game. Awesome game. Like, it's pretty much like the things that I like about Devil May Cry and like combat and all that kind of stuff, you know, like the technicality of it and like the sort of experimentation that you can have with the game. Kingdom Hearts 2 is all about that.
Cut the foreplay, what's the caveat?
The caveat is all the other ones have either not aged very well, have pretty much the combat watered down, or just have a cast that I'm just not interested in.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Mainly because they appeared on handhelds for the most part, like of course, Chain of Memories was originally on the Game Boy Advance, which is like in between Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2. But they redid it again for the PlayStation 2. But they kept a lot of the combat system involved with it, and it uses cards and stuff like that.
How do you redo a Game Boy Advance game for
it's
PlayStation 2?
Well, you basically keep the plot, which is complete. Of course, it's Kingdom Hearts, so the plot is all over the place, you know. But they sort of moved the combat into like the PlayStation 2 engine that they used and sort of retooled it a little bit, but it still has the main sort of principles of it. So it uses cards for its combat in the Game Boy Advance title, and it's the same in the PlayStation 2 one. So basically you have to manage your deck of cards in order to do your attacks, your magic spells, your healing, etc, etc.
Okay.
But of course, I'm not here to play a card game, I'm here to play an action RPG. And like, there's this one mechanic that will drive me insane every single time. So you're structuring this really cool combo where you're using multipliers of the same number, yeah? But the enemy uses a card with the number 0 on it. And a 0 card will completely negate all of that you've been doing up until that point.
Wow.
So it's sort of like, yeah, structuring your deck is all for nothing because I have the 0 card. Eat it. But
I always enjoy games that enjoy wasting your time.
Yeah, don't we all? But regardless, like, Kingdom Hearts is a cool series. Like, obviously, I'm very nostalgic for it, which is kind of what the problem is I'm having with Kingdom Hearts 3, because I said it last week, it can't live up to 15 years of expectation, man. I mean, it's difficult. It's not been 15 years, because obviously we've had a lot of games in between Kingdom Hearts 2 and now, but
it's been
Kingdom Hearts
feeding a little.
3, it's a numbered sequel.
Kingdom Hearts 3 proper, exactly.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, oh.
I've heard it said that the Kingdom Hearts series is something of an impenetrable series to get into if you're jumping on it from a stance as someone that hasn't really experienced it before. How true would you say that is?
No, you can definitely get into it, but you do kind of need to just not try and ask questions and just accept what people are telling you. Like, why is there like 15 versions of the bad guy? Who's that guy? No, he's that guy. I thought that guy was that guy. No, he's that guy from a different timeline who absorbed that other person's body. Oh, I see.
That sounds messy. I'm not gonna lie.
It's very convoluted. Even just trying to explain what like the main two type of enemies are in that game is confusing. Do you know what the difference is between a Heartless and a Nobody?
No, but I'm curious.
Okay.
Do you know?
I think I know. That's the problem. I think I know. Okay,
concept of an idea.
A Heartless is a person. It's basically. Okay, so
You said you knew, Ben. You said you knew.
Yeah, okay.
But when tested.
So, a Heartless is a soul that's corrupted by the darkness. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, once its heart is extracted and is corrupted by darkness, it becomes a Heartless. And Nobody is the shell that's left afterwards after somebody loses their heart to the darkness. So basically, you have two versions of the same guy going around doing their own thing.
I feel Heartless and like a Nobody just listening. That. It sounds confusing.
Yeah.
So Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. It's an amazing series. Definitely an amazing series. But please just leave your brain at the door. Don't try and think about it. Don't ask questions.
Just accept it.
Just accept it. Yeah.
So on the eve of those two games coming out, let me ask you a question. Are you more excited for Resident Evil 2
Resident
remake?
Evil.
Oh, okay. That's quick.
Like I said, I just can't expect Kingdom Hearts to give me the same feeling that Kingdom Hearts 2 did. I just can't expect that.
But it might. It's that little intangible that gaming offers.
And
you just don't know until you played it.
It is a thing that's been going on with Square Enix now, I feel, for a while with its long-standing series. The one that did make an exception, really, the one that really did for me last year was Dragon's Quest. Dragon's Quest was a really cool title, but it's not like Kingdom Hearts is just... But yeah, other than that, I've been playing pretty much the same thing as I've been playing for the last couple of weeks. Beat Onimusha, beat Crosscode.
What was the Onimusha experience like all in all then?
Onimusha, like I said, it's a really good game for its time. If you want to be given a bit of history about it, if you really want to get a feel for what the PlayStation 2 sort of Capcom era was like, it's a really good game to go back to. But it does have the caveat that it is a PlayStation 2 game, so of course it doesn't have a lot of modern stuff that would help ease the pacing of the game and stuff like that as well. Like I already talked about the use of how they implemented the left analog stick free control and how I think that really, if you are going to play this game, you shouldn't use it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to blame you if you do, but I just feel it's sort of disingenuous to the reason why you're playing that game.
Saves like advice. I think that's fair.
But yeah, Onimusha, of course, it's kind of interesting because Onimusha 1 isn't the favorite, it isn't the popular one. It's primarily Onimusha 2. Onimusha 2 is the one that everyone really loves. Is a big fan of the series. And also the ending of Onimusha 1 is kind of whack.
Whoa, spoilers there.
Spoilers from a game that came out in about 2002, 2003.
Even so.
You basically are stood on a staircase looking at the boss, and it just fades to black.
Oh wow, you went. I hinted at spoilers. You were like,
no,
we're gonna plunge you in the heart of them.
Bruv, I'm sorry if you did not play a game that came out in 2002, 2003. I cannot help you.
That's fair. That's fair.
I cannot help you.
That is fair.
But yeah.
So Onimusha,
Crosscode, which I talked about, which is really cool.
Crosscode looks fantastic. I'm all in for Crosscode, but I'm going to wait, I think, until the Switch version comes out.
Yeah.
I think it will translate to that particular device perfect.
Well, it is trying to emulate a Super Nintendo game, so being on a Nintendo console only makes more sense. So yeah, it's a cool title. I really do recommend anybody pick it up. Of course, it's coming out Switch later this year, but it's already on Steam. So if it goes on sale, or whether you're really interested into that sort of subgenre, like I said, it's a Super Nintendo-inspired action RPG. So it's
what's there not to like?
What's there not to like? Exactly. It has really cool characters, really cool designs and stuff like that. Really cool art style. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Fantastic.
What about you, Dan? What have you been playing?
I've been playing two things this week. First one isn't even a video game; it's a tabletop game, which I'm also a fan of. Played a little game called Nemesis. I say little game; it's a big game called Nemesis.
There's no. Yeah, I was about to say there's no such tabletop game that isn't little. Like you have Jenga, that's about as small as you're going to get.
This is true.
And then, and even then, you have really big Jenga.
And it's good. It's very, very. You know,
so
Nemesis. People are into their tabletop gaming. Imagine Dead of Winter crossed with aliens.
how about if I was to be someone who has no idea what it is that you just said?
Okay, so it's a semi-co-op game where you have to explore a ship. The only problem is there are aliens on board the ship, so you've got a list of objectives that you have to complete with or without the people that you're playing with, and then by the end of the game you will have either fulfilled your objectives or failed them. And it was good. It was good. I did enjoy it. I mean, I'll be honest, the reason that I played that this week is because there's not been that much in terms of games that I wanted to play. The only game that I have played, I only played it today for about 45 minutes, is a game called Unruly Heroes.
And you talked to me a bit about this before we actually got started, just so that I could pull the trailer to actually show you guys.
I did.
The way that you pitched it to me was it's ex-Ubisoft employees,
That's right, ex-Ubisoft Montpellier.
And it's the aesthetic that they've gone for is very much similar to the UbiArts engine that games like Rayman Legends, Rayman Origins, Child of Light, etc.
Exactly. So it's funny. It's very Rayman Legends. There's more than a touch of Child of Light on it, and it basically takes place in kind of.
I'll start this trailer from the beginning.
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone turning up.
It's a. It's inspired by the story Journey to the East, so you've got a lot of
Is that
Chinese
Goku? Is he on Nimbus? Has he got the power pole? Is he going to Kame's lookout?
That might be.
Sorry, I watched the Dragon Ball movie yesterday, so I'm very into my Dragon Ball right now. But yeah, okay.
As you can see, the art style is superb. It's like, this is one of the best looking games that I've played this year, and you know, I've already played some pretty good looking games. And yeah, as I say, I'm less than an hour in, so I don't really feel I can give it a full review at this point, but from what I've played so far, very good. Controls are tight, looks good, and I'm looking forward to playing more of it. The only problem is, of course, that Resident Evil 2 comes out tomorrow, so it becomes a case of, is it good enough to hold my attention while I know that's in my collection to play, or do I go back to it? Time will only tell on that one.
Is this a co-op game as well? Yeah.
It can be co-op, yeah.
Can be co-op, yeah, because I can kind of see that there's different characters.
4 different characters you can play as.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'd say I've not played the co-op version yet, but I think that would make the game even more of a fun experience.
Yeah, I definitely do think that the UbiArt engine is the most underutilized thing that anyone has ever made. I just wish that, like, they just made a heck of a lot more games than what they did on it. It's a shame.
It is a shame. I do think, you know...
I should have a... Is this... Of course, you've been playing it on the Switch,
I play on Switch. It's available on Steam. I think it's available across all your different platforms.
I would definitely like to actually play it, actually get my hands on this, because
I think
I played both of the Rayman remaster, well, the sort of revival games, Origins and I enjoyed them both thoroughly. So this would be, and I like the Chinese aesthetic as well. I'm a big
definitely
I'm a big nerd for Journey to the East.
Well, then this game is almost tailor-made for you, my friend.
It almost makes me think of God, what is that game called? It was a very popular indie game made by one guy. Features sort of like a Blue Fox kind of looking character with the rice hat. Oh, God, what was its name?
Blue Fox with a rice hat?
I actually have it in my Steam library.
But can I buy a clue?
God, it used to be on a lot of... It was pretty much one of the big indie titles that you'd always see on there. Like I say, it was all made by one guy.
Oh, geez, I know the one you mean.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Yeah, you know, now you know the one. And now it's going to drive you insane as well.
Yes, I know the one you mean, but I don't know it.
But you can't remember the name.
Reflects badly on both of us.
I know, right? Yes. Absolute nobody's.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I've been playing this week. Again, really enjoyed the little that I played. So I would recommend it based on that. But watch this space for a full review, which hopefully I can give next week.
If Resident Evil doesn't destroy our lives completely,
I think it might get that way.
Which it might get that way.
It might get that way. The reviews have been astonishingly good, I must say. When you're seeing reviews that are constantly saying that this is how a remake is done, it makes you think, wow, Capcom have really they've pulled out the stops.
Yeah.
You know, we played the demo. I enjoyed it. And as I say, the reviews have basically been unanimous in their praise for the game.
Yeah.
The RE7 engine seems to have been the perfect thing to basically go, okay, let's take one of our past titles, take it forward.
I do have this conversation with a lot of people, and it feels funny because, like, Square Enix and all these other, and Konami all have built their own engines. Like, Japan seems to still be intent on trying to use their own engines. There are a few exceptions to the fact, of course, and the majority of those who decide not to use that tend to still stick with traditional engines like Unreal. Like, Unreal Engine does seem to be the most licensed engine in the AAA development space, which is understandable. It's a fantastic use of an engine. It's a great engine. But I do feel like there's a lot of possibilities that are being missed out on the creation of new engines with new technology and stuff like that, especially within the Japanese AAA development workspace.
New engines are expensive, though.
They are,
Final Fantasy 15
that's a problem that you have to blend, because sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, like, Konami spent millions and millions and millions building the Fox engine to make, of course, Metal Gear 5.
And then Metal Gear Survive.
Which is, by all means, a really good-looking game. I don't like Metal Gear 5. I think Metal Gear 5 actually is not awful just as a Metal Gear game, but awful as a game as a whole.
It's funny you should say that, because I have a similar opinion to you on that, but it's a very unpopular one. Metal Gear 5 has a lot of fans, despite the fact that it doesn't really feel like a Metal Gear game.
Because it isn't.
And two, obviously, we know it's very well documented problems that happened during the development of that title.
Even if the game did finish its development, I still don't think it would really help save that game.
Probably not,
to be honest. And again, it has that sort of problem that I know it's me. Like, the first thing that you do as soon as you start off Metal Gear Solid 5 is that you have a really stupid sequence where you're crippled and going around the hospital. I thought
that was the best part of the game. It was fairly cinematic. It was ridiculous, but fairly cinematic.
People laugh about, because here's the thing. Here's my problem, yeah, and this applies to God of War and stuff like that as well. So of course it's very important that I get this off my chest. People always complain about Metal Gear Solid 4 with its 45-minute cutscenes and stuff like that. But once you hit gameplay, you are in the game. There's nothing that takes you out of the gameplay apart from other cutscenes, which again you can skip. That's the second thing. You can skip cutscenes at any point. So when it comes to replaying Metal Gear Solid 4, I'm more inclined to replay Metal Gear Solid 4. Metal Gear Solid 5, you can't skip them sort of sequences. It won't let you. So replaying that game becomes a drag. I just don't want to go back and play it.
I can appreciate that. It is a little self-indulgent, perhaps, in that it doesn't force you to watch it.
I guess thematically it works really well on its first time playing through, which I understand. But like, a lot of consumers nowadays are only gonna ever play the game once.
It's true. Replayability has gone out the window, given there is a constant stream of new titles.
But one of the most exciting games that is coming out tomorrow has come from a franchise which has all been about replayability. It's all about the mastering of the locations, the weapons, the enemy design and stuff like that. And so it's kind of like, seems a little bit backwards thinking to me. The whole series of Metal Gear is supposed to be founded on trying to get like a really good rank in order to perfect your stealth, in order to have a perfect run, you know. You have to become Big Boss at the end of Metal Gear Solid 3.
You know what, that's a fair critique.
So having that just feels a bit disingenuous to the franchise which it hails from. And that's not to say that a game can't do anything new or try and actually be something creative. Resident Evil 4 took a big risk by actually changing its design, and it's one of the most well-respected games that have been ever made.
It's influenced the series ad infinitum going forward.
But like I said, I do feel that Metal Gear Solid 5 is very disingenuous to the series that it hails from. We're in more than just its gameplay design, in its writing, in a lot of things. So
okay, that's
like I actually talked about this with my mate Sully yesterday. It's funny. Of course, at the end of Peace Walker, of course, Kaz Miller, best character ever, Kazuma Miller, admits that he knew that the two child soldiers, Paz and what was his other name? I can't remember. But Paz, he knew that she was a double agent. But then in Ground Zero, prequel to Metal Gear Solid 5, he goes, "I can't believe that you fell for. I can't believe you didn't get that dummy call and stuff like that." It's like, wait, what? You admitted that you knew all along? It's just like, what?
Are you trying to say continuity in games is sometimes a little bit dodgy?
I'm trying to say that continuity in Metal Gear is like, ooh.
Well, you know, I think you have to appreciate that, unfortunately, most game designers think about game design first, continuity and story.
I don't think Kojima thinks about that for a second. I think you're...
Game designers,
Probably. You're probably right. The game does have to come first. I mean, that's but I feel like we're moving towards the other end of that.
Yeah, completely.
Because every game has got to be an Oscar game now.
True, now, but I think the thing that I'm pointing to is the fact that a lot of these legacy games, your Zeldas, your Metal Gear Solids, that these are games with 35-year histories that people didn't expect them to last this long or to be as big as they were when they first created them. And that's where this really awful shoehorning of lore comes in. It's just embarrassing. There's no continuity, and it's retcon this, and it doesn't work. And that's my issue. It's difficult.
I just remembered the line. Did you ever play Metal Gear Solid 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. The part where Snake, of course, they're telling Snake about how the founding of the Patriots. And Snake just looks and goes, "Oh no, was it the Patriots? Or was it Fox?" I'm trying to remember.
Anyway.
Yeah, Zero. The founding of the Patriots was Zero, and then he goes, "Zero, the founder of the Patriots. When did this happen?" And I'm just like,
for real?
Bruh. So yeah, totally.
I miss David Hayter as Snake. That's what I miss.
We all miss David Hayter as Snake. The other problem that I have with Metal Gear Solid 5 is that I could tell what was going to happen straight away. As soon as I heard that voice, I was like, oh. In fact, you even knew what was going to happen just from hearing the music in the trailer.
Yeah, I think most people knew
what was it. The Man Who Sold the World by David Bowie. I was just like,
The Bowie references are strong in that game.
Very strong in that game.
Kojima got a little hard on for Dave, which is fine.
Which is fine, I mean...
So do I. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't, exactly, yeah.
Anyway, talking about having...
affections for David Bowie.
For things and games, we've got a game that we're going to look at now.
Oh, we're going to jump straight to that, okay.
Awesome. That a lot of people have been very positive towards. It's called Bright Memory. Developed amazingly by a single guy, Chinese gentleman, I believe, and it's still in early access, I believe, but looks fantastic. And the way people are fawning over it, it seems that it plays very, very well as well. So Ben's going to step into the hot seat once more.
Dan actually recommended this to me.
It seems like your kind of game. You know, a lot of people are pitching it as a kind of Devil May Cry type FPS, which essentially means that you can do cool shit while you're playing, although from an FPS type.
Now I'm just gonna adjust it because I know it's only got full screen or windowed. Okay, right. Let's move over to the game and then.
Okay, are we in?
Let us.
I had that question.
There we go. Okay, so this is running on the Unreal Engine, which you can tell probably from models and shading and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm probably just going to let the game do the talking. We'll erase your save file. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and give something that might pass as interesting commentary over your progress.
Like I've never. The only time that I booted up this game was when we just did initial testing, just to see that it would actually
boot up.
Work.
Exactly.
So outside of that, not played the game, not actually, learn any crazy combos. There's no smoking six style on here like Devil May Cry. Though saying that, the Devil May Cry demo is the 9th of February, so I'm going to get you to play that.
Okay, I can do that.
I'm going to commentate over your smoking six style.
But listen. There will be style. It may not be smoking,
there better be.
And it may not be sick.
I'm going to be upset.
I'm a utility gamer. I get the job done.
I better see some real impact distortion, otherwise I'm going to be very upset.
I don't even know what that is. I better practice. So again, just to reiterate, this has been created by a single guy, which, you look at it already. I'm not saying it looks like the best game ever, but graphically very impressive. Just made that fool explode. How's it control? How's it feel?
Well, we'll get into that in hopefully just a second. I've got a C rank.
Oh, that doesn't look good. Is she called Sheila?
Yeah.
That is not the name I was expecting a badass ninja type female warrior to have. Sheila. Okay, but we'll go with it. Sheila's on the job. Oh, that feels in the air.
Okay, so we actually...
This is frantic. So you've got a gun, you've got some kind of phasic power, right?
Which I can use to sidestep and stuff like that as well. So yeah, you can see my skills down at the bottom left. Let's... Oh, yeah, okay.
You can use the light blade and glass slash.
And of course everything goes on a cooldown afterwards.
Everything's on a cooldown.
All the cooldowns.
Oh, wow. That was pretty.
Okay, so...
Should probably give a little disclaimer before we started this to say
Maybe.
It's a little gory. There's been a few blood spatters here and there, but nothing we think you can't deal with. Sheila's hacking in. Dude has a quiff to rival mine. It's impressive.
He definitely had to work on that. He's like, the rest of you guys are going to have to wear helmets, and I cannot.
He's like, right, I'm one man. I can do one guy helmet off with amazing hair. Everybody else.
Some crazy anti-gravity portal stuff going on.
You've been sucked through, what can this mean?
Are we going to end up in Jurassic Park? Who knows?
If there's dinosaurs in this game, I'm all in. And that's to the title screen. Okay, cool. That was an all-action start. How did it feel? Talk to me. I mean, play-by-play.
I feel like I sucked really bad.
I think that's okay for a guy who's playing it for the first time. We can let you off.
Sheila was a great addition to SRO in training when she was 12 years old. And I do have an appreciation for aesthetic... I'm going to assume that's like aesthetic limbs and stuff like that. I don't know.
It looks like...
Robot arms.
Sorry, I still can't take this lady seriously given she's called Sheila. It's like... There we go. So we're in a tree.
Where are we looking right now? Oh, we're looking down. Oh, okay. Oh, it's the Tomb Raider, Lara Croft.
Sheila's got some mean side boob going on, I'll give her that. Okay, we got floating... Okay, we've got a little bit of an Avatar kind of vibe going on. We got floating islands.
Okay,
in this new biome.
So
when did people start using biome as a part of their gaming lexicon? Like oh man.
I was just testing my movement.
Now you look like a chump.
Yeah, now
you're happy. You're happy.
So yeah, direction and left shift allows me to sort of dash in that direction.
Well, that's good. It's good to know.
And then
okay.
And then on F,
don't do Sheila like that.
We have like an EMP. Q, we have like a zip tie sort of thing. I could kind of like leap right towards the target. And then E, we got our trusty sword. And I can scroll forward for the light slash and an AoE.
That looks cool. That looks
cool.
Do you feel empowered? That was a jade statue. I mean, it's a freaky looking thing. But we got collectibles.
I'm interested in to see what this UI is going on here with like these yellow and white dots. What are they supposed to be? I don't... Is that supposed to be like my radar? I'm going to assume.
I mean, it makes sense. I'm guessing, yeah. I mean, you don't know, but those wolves were not coming to say hi. They might have been someone's pet, and you've just gunned them down. So, I think you may have just made an enemy. A bloody pot. Wow, the collectibles in this are just off the chain.
Oh, and that's a very big doggo.
Right, okay. Oh, that's the kind of thing that I would gun down mercifully. The dogs, not so much. Oh, God.
Wow, that's a lot of movement.
Oh, wow.
Oi!
Oh, there we go. Now we're talking. Oh, it's down. It is down.
Yeah, get the EXP pickups. Okay.
Oh, no, it's not down.
I think that's just another
Second one, right. Got you. This isn't a boss, this is literally just... You take some hits there, bro. So this is the kind of game where aim of the game, get them up in the air and start chaining together some sick combos.
I need to... I've got my back B launchers. Oh!
D and shift is dodge.
I'm doing the back D and shift.
Take his skinny ass down.
A and shift, use dodge. Oh, there we go.
Well, I mean, one thing I will say is it's so refreshing to see a game that's been made, you know, single guy, A single guy? That makes it sound like he's, you know, on the market. What I mean is, a single gentleman. That sounds worse. He's one man. He's one man making a game, and he's doing something very clearly ambitious. And it looks good, man. Again, I'm not going to say it's the best looking game ever, but I have seen games made by bigger teams than one that look worse than this. So yeah, quite the achievement. Start chain him. Chain him.
Give me that smoking six style. Give it me.
I mean, admittedly, he just stood there, then allowed you to get a 10 on him. There you go. There you go. Can you jump? Have you got some kind of air attack?
I can't really do anything once I'm in the air, it looks like.
Oh, so even though they're quite far away, if you slice, you're still dicing.
Yeah, it's kind of like the sword has definitely got, although it
got
can
some
be used
range.
Close range, it's like a sort of like a light beam that travels.
That's cool.
That is cool. I'm interested to see. You can see that there's like 2 locked icons down there. I'm wondering. I'm very curious. Yeah, this is definitely like an interesting blend, like of Titan. It makes me think a lot of Titanfall.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2, like just like pilot skills and stuff like that. A lot of sort of creative movement. I hope there's like wall running and stuff like that.
It seems like there's quite a lot of verticality.
Use tractor. Oh,
there you go.
There we go.
Sweet grappling hook. Now we're talking.
Like that. I have new skills. Okay.
I thought that said orgasm, man. That'd be
Why?
Like
Why
literally the skill tree starts with orgasm. You know you're onto an absolute winner.
All right. So okay, we have these on top of our 120 XP abilities. Right. So we have abilities already, but action surge increases damage in a specified time, causes a sustained damage in the range.
They both sound cool. By his choice. Time freeze is what you want.
But I only have 90 XP, and the only one that I can get...
Well, maybe save it up. I don't know.
Well, how long are we going to be here for?
I don't know. It's episode 1.
Attack while in the air. Keeps you in the air. Yes, fam. I'm going to have juggles, mate.
Do it. They're juggles.
Unlock. I want to do cool Dante combos. Yeah! That's gas!
Man,
that is actually gas. I'm actually...
That's just added a new dynamic to this entire experience.
Bruv, I'm
going to think in a good way.
Hold down space to jump further. Hi.
That's a decent sized jump.
That is a pretty decent sized jump.
Is it intuitive?
I think it's crazy.
It's the bat down here. Those are definitely Batman signals, signs on the wall there.
Even the sword keeps me floating. This is crazy.
Right, so,
Hi-ya.
as I said before, now you've got them in the air, surely you can chain together some cooler attacks.
I think, actually, I've got an idea. This might sound crazy.
No, let's get crazy. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Who's your daddy?
And then use the AoE to bring me back down.
Oh, nice. Right, there we go. Now you've got it. Now you've got it. Now you're eating somebody else's lunch.
Okay.
That looked cool.
Safe.
That looked cool. We like cool. Now you get in the S. First you get in the A, then you get in the F.
Oh, there's like fire traps and stuff. Oh, I need to reload. That was lame.
So just to recap, we start off, we're in some kind of scientific...
And then we get teleported to some crazy Aztec place.
Yeah, I like it. It's cool. That's all you need. Like I said, sometimes you don't need it to be a complicated story. It doesn't need to be deep. Sometimes all you need is some cool-ass mechanics.
Okay, so we've got some puzzles going on here.
That seems like a fairly easy puzzle to work out. We're all on the wall, Stems are on the ground.
I'm going to assume it has something to do with...
So we got a bat, we got mountains, we got a constellation.
I kind of missed out on the voice line that she was saying. What was she saying? Oh,
Oh, something's going on.
That just glowed for some reason.
This is where our playthrough just stops dead because we've no idea what we're doing now. Right, okay. The bats are alive. They're on fire. They're on fuego. Okay, so we're matching up.
Symbols to each one of these.
This looks purely trial and error, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it looks trial and error because it is trial and error.
Okay, so it's less of a puzzle, more just a...
What? Why do you do that? Why did they do this to me?
Oh, wait, the bat's got... Oh, okay, bat's back.
Okay,
oh,
so
right, you hit the wrong one.
That inner symbol only rotates on this outer one here, but it also affects this one as well. So if I line this one
oh, there we go. Oh, right, okay.
Go over to this one. No! I feel betrayed.
Oh, Ben Parrott, come on.
Bruv, allow me, fam. What does this one do?
There is someone watching this screaming at you right now.
Why you not do
saying
the video
can
game?
you not figure it out? Don't get me wrong,
Bruv, I'm doing it. I understand now.
This time... There we go, there we go.
God, you think I'm some kind of fool. You take me for a fool. I mean, I am.
I was merely applying a certain amount of pressure to make you get better.
Okay, so can I only have one at a time?
Oh, surely not.
Okay, so cooldown time.
No, you can have multiples.
So what's this one here?
Junk, man.
Passive skills, speed running. Okay, so this one makes me run faster.
Right.
Improves your defenses. Gets me more XP. Junkman, that seems like an important one, but like I said, we ain't got time.
No, we ain't got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. But since we want to run, yeah. Since we want to run fast,
we're going to run fast. This is where you take it to the next step.
Okay, now
and we show the people. Oh, whoa,
whoa. Oh, scripted sequences are spooky, man.
A little jumpy jump scare, a little Jack Skellington.
Spooky, scary skeletons. Oh. Little bit of a cutscene thing that we got going on.
Oh, right. Shia LaBeouf. They followed us here, or rather, we followed them here. I love that. Like, you've got a sword. Would have been very easy just to slice through it. No. Bring on the destruction. EMP it. All gone. Been flashbanged. You got some manganese in your eye.
Not the mangoes. Oh, well, he didn't get more.
Just strawberry jammed him like a fool. There you go. It's just Jean-Luc Picard him.
Hey.
Oh, this guy looks friendly.
Oh, this guy looks cool, man. I'm gonna launch him.
Get him! Get him! He's hitting. Oh, double S!
Triple S! Smoking 60
right,
style!
Now we're starting to play.
Oh, look at that dodge! I am gas.
Mate, you say you've not played this before, but these skills, these triple S skills, they make me think otherwise. He's down, he's down.
Hey!
He's down, he's down. He's bleeding on the ground. Mate, I think you just won the game. One thing that I will say that this game looks like it's doing is it's making any game that can allow you to feel like a badass is a good game in my eyes.
Yeah, man. Oh, there's still some pieces left.
You don't seem OP, but you seem powerful enough. And getting that balance just right, oh, that's a head right there. Getting that balance just right is what elevates an average game to a great game.
So one of the things that I noticed is that, of course, I launch them, I tether to them, and to go.
Can you get? Is that an invisible wall?
Oh, is that it? Yeah, it wants me to go that way.
Yeah, that is an invisible wall.
But
bad game design. Bad game.
Don't let me interact with walls that are blatantly not supposed to be like there. Anyway, jump over the.
Oh,
I thought
You did not just.
I did.
You
I
did
did
not
just.
pull all those
I thought I could jump over it. Fam. I
triple
was,
S's out of
bro,
nowhere.
I'm good at combos. I'm not good at environmental. How was I supposed to know?
Basic platform.
She just took like 20 bullets, but can't jump over fire.
Jump
Allow
over
me.
fire at your own risk. Just shoot the ground and like propel yourself into the air. That would be the thing. Or just EMP it. Again, I don't think we've established that those dogs are bad guys yet, but if you want to mow them down at any opportunity,
Bro, it
go
gives
right
me
ahead.
points. It gives me points.
All about them points. I like the fact that you got a C rating then for turning that crank. Like, oh, you're gonna do something with style, do everything with style. You're gonna kill a fool with style. Make sure you turn a crank with style. Again, just to stress, this game is in early access.
Which is crazy.
And it's not, doesn't seem that rough around the edges when you know, I've not seen anything so far that's made me think, oh, this is a game in early access. I mean, there's a little bit, one thing that I've noticed, that a few of the textures are a bit, not perfect, but it looks very good. I tip my hat to the creator. Little blood splatters on the camera. I mean, it ain't original, but it's
about what
it's
works,
nice.
Dan.
It's flavour. Flavour. Oh, it's a nice and squishy game as well. I like how squishy it is.
Is this supposed to be a bonfire? Is this supposed to
that
be?
Is an actual.
Oh no! I immediately hate this game now.
That was.
You gotta have your obligatory Dark Souls reference in there, guys.
When does an homage just become flat out? Oh no, we're just gonna take that and we're gonna rip it.
Oh, that left a bad taste in my mouth.
It's kind of funny. I quite like it. Maybe it's tongue in cheek.
Is this the Dark Souls of first-person shooters? Oh.
I mean, it's just funny because stylistically it's clearly so different from Dark Souls. It doesn't seem...
How does that reference benefit anyone?
Again, maybe it's a little nod and a wink to the player. I don't think it needs it, but hey, you got a reaction out of us too. And she did just say reaction is more and more intense. Maybe she was still talking about the bonfire.
Now this looks just like a fight. This actually looks
an
like
arena.
I'm about to fight a boss.
That's an arena right there. That's a boss arena.
No, we got teleported to Anor Londo. We're actually playing Dark Souls right now.
Is that the Lord of Cinder? Legit.
It's Nito. He's sat on a pile of bones. Or it's I
mean, that is...
Oh, it's Knight Artorias!
I was going to say that is borderline lawsuit levels of similar to the Elite Knight armor in Dark Souls. But okay. I like that there's a boss. A little disappointed with that, if I'm being completely honest. He's a Lord as well. Of course he's a Lord. Everything else so far has looked on point. Even the enemies, while not wholly original, looked cool. That's just a knight in armor.
Did he just deflect my thing back
I think he might have, but you triple S in it all over the goddamn show.
Oh, let me juggle this boy. Oh, come on, he's in a down state. Let me juggle.
Boy, don't juggle.
He doesn't
The
want
Forest Lord will not allow you to juggle him like a mere plaything.
Bruv, I want to do...
Do you think you are a cat and he is a mere ball of string? No, he's the Forest Lord, goddammit. Treat him with some respect.
No. I do not have respect for boss designs that do not allow me to juggle.
No respect for Finley Vale Dark Souls references.
If I downed him, I should be able to juggle him. That is the lore of this land. So saying that,
You seem to be taking him down with relative ease.
I kind of just seem to keep walking back, and as soon as my sword is ready, I kind of just go to town on him. I just feel like
He's a necromiser.
he's a bullet sponge. Literally, I'm like...
I mean, I thought it was quite interesting when he deflected your initial onslaught. It kind of did some damage to you, but since then, all he's done is chase you and swipe aimlessly. It's disappointing. This doesn't feel like a boss battle worthy of the rest of the game you played so
I
far.
thought it would be something like use your sword to down him, and then that'll give you the chance to EMP him, to launch him into the air, And then that's where you'd be able to get all your damaging combos from in that juggle state.
That sounds like a cooler idea than the one that you just experienced.
Yeah, because that's what you do in Devil May Cry games.
Well.
But, you know.
There you go. Make sure you light that bonfire.
Make sure it stays lit, fam.
Yeah, it's a shame. As I say, the enemy design, whilst not the best I've ever seen, isn't bad. It's interesting enough, but that boss just didn't really do it for me, if I'm being honest.
No, he was just a giant enemy sponge, which is not what you really want to have with your bosses. Your bosses are supposed to be your big center set pieces, you know. So
I think they missed the trick with that. I really do.
What?
Oh,
I've got some. Who are you?
Don't mess with Sheila. She'll cut you.
And then juggle again. Hey!
The juggling mechanic does look really, really fun, I will say that.
Yeah, it incentivizes you to actually, you know, because obviously they can't attack you whilst they're in that juggle state, so it's important to actually, you know. Perhaps it's a bit too easy to juggle, I would say. Maybe if you actually had enemy designs that, you know, could only be juggled when they're in certain states. Like, you have these guys here, and like some of them have shields. Maybe you need to try and destroy the shield before you juggle them. Maybe, you know.
Would that intercept the flow of the game, though?
No, it would basically mean that you'd have to look at which enemies you're going up against and actually, you know, strategize. Okay, so this guy is going to be a problem. Why don't I actually focus on this guy and try and get this guy to do a juggle? It just makes it. It means that not everybody fights the same, you know.
Yeah, I get that. Oh, Carter of Quiff fame's back. I love excessive sliding in any game. I'm all for that.
Bro,
slide everywhere.
Took that grenade, like, straight up. No problems at all. Oh, big armadillo doggo. I want to shoot the big armadillo doggo. How dare you?
Clear the SAI army. Sheila's on it. I mean, I was pretty sure like there was only 3 guys that teleported through the gate with Sheila in the beginning, but I think maybe more came through. I don't know if he didn't come through.
Reload and then do an EMP.
I'm going to ask you this: is it better fighting against these human characters, or is it better fighting against the you know, the more supernatural ones? These guys can fight back. We've got some range attack.
And they also seem to have a sort of blink ability similar to like your like movement and stuff like that. Yeah, so yeah. Makes them interesting, I guess.
Nice. Chopped him up.
It looks like we have a little bit of platforming going on, as we're going to need to climb onto that platform. I'm guessing we're going to have to climb up here.
Yep. Big jump right there. But again, you know, one thing I can't stand in games is when it's so vague that you could spend 15 minutes wandering around the arena wondering where the hell you're supposed to go to next. Whereas, you know, that seems intuitive.
Oh, we have a lot of XP at the moment, so what do we have here? Press F 3 times in a row, generates a constant current that deals damage to enemies.
This is the kind of game where you become an absolute badass.
Press F twice.
By its own
generates
game.
quantum field to freeze enemies. What do we have here? Action surge. Q and E increases maximum damage and floats all enemies. Oh, that's disgusting. Causes sustained damage in the range. Oh, so that's Gerbera. That's literally Gerbera. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to have that one.
Anything that can make this game more like Devil May Cry for you, you're going to do. You're going to do it.
Is that broken? Like being able to float all enemies? That seems very low committal.
I mean, we'll find out.
I mean, it is a long cooldown. There's 45 seconds.
And most encounters do seem to, I mean, when you've got a squad of enemies, it doesn't really last longer than 45 seconds. It's a quick-paced game. You clear out the mobs quickly. Oh, there you go. That's how you do it.
I'm going to assume some of these are going to break, so I'm going to hop my way over. Oh.
Pull the rod. I wonder if you get star points again for doing it. Like, really whack. No style points. Maybe it wasn't style points.
You did not grasp the rod stylishly enough.
If you're going to grab a rod, yeah.
You gotta grab.
You're going to grab a rod, make sure, you damn well make sure you do it with style.
Chains on the pillars.
Ooh, there you go.
Indiana Jones up in this place.
I like that.
Okay, it looks like some of these are going to break. Is there any other points that I can grab onto?
No, it's solid. Oh.
Just hop my
As it
way
happens,
over.
none of them broke.
Lucky for me.
You thought you were smart, you thought you were guessing what was going to happen, and it just laughed in your face.
比赛我能到上面去。
And pull down the hoist.
A little bit of platforming for you. This game is drawing from a well of different influences, I will give it that. And again, ambitious, I like ambition.
Yeah, man. Definitely. It's definitely in the right direction. Resist the attack. Oh, big armadillo, doggo.
Here we go. I think this is going to be our last
Let me zipline.
call of action before we have to wrap up.
Yeah,
But
man.
you take it to him. I want to see nothing but that triple S filling the screen.
Well, let's do this then.
Make them all float. Make them all. Well, Jesus Christ. There you go. You're building. You're building. Daddy's building something. Armadillo wants to play. He doesn't want to play.
Oh, he beast out.
Where are you getting your ammo from, by the way? I've not
It just seems to always be there. I'm guessing it's from pickups from enemies and stuff. I think like grabbing XP also replenishes my ammo.
XP replenishes your ammo.
I'm gonna assume like the ammo replenishes all that kind of stuff.
Some of the blood spatters look good. Some of them look a bit obnoxious and a bit painted on. Just noticed before, like one on the left right now, that looks absolutely fine. But one that was ludicrously thick before, and it's just looked a little.
I'm liking the soundtrack as well. Kind of Doom-esque.
Yeah.
And if there's anything I like, it's Doom-esque soundtracks.
The Doom soundtrack is
Oh, I didn't notice
one of the best of recent years. I mean, that's the thing. If I was to look at the crib sheet that this guy's working on, there are definite influences. Devil May Cry, there's Doom. Clearly there's Dark Souls, but I mean, I don't know how that made it in. Unless the guy's making a little less to the games that he loves. Seems to be a game that it might not be all that original in what it's presenting. It's a patchwork game, I like to call it, where they're getting a lot of cool ideas from games they're playing and putting them into one game, which in and of itself creates something new. It's the Stranger Things effect, I like to call it, where you know, they're not really reinventing the wheel, but they're calling from the right influences, and that in itself makes something good.
It does feel like I can get Triple S way too easy. I
Maybe,
feel like
maybe you're just that damn good.
maybe I am. I appreciate the flattery, but I want to collect all the XP, but it doesn't really matter because I think we're going to be wrapping up in a sec.
But you resisted, and you got a bronze ding.
A bronze ding.
You got a bronze ding.
Look at that bronze ding.
I'll tell you something, mate. I don't think I've ever seen a better bronze ding than that. And I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
I think that is a good place to wrap it up with my Triple S ranking. Sweet. So
I'm gonna, as soon as our beautiful faces come back on the screen, I am gonna grill you for a good 3 minutes.
for a whole 3 minutes.
Ben Parrott, talk to me about those first impressions. That is Bright Memory. It looked like a lot of fun from where I was sitting.
The initial, like, because you got to take in mind that this is an early access game. It's good for a first impression.
Okay.
The only thing that I feel
Drop the mic and leave it there.
yeah, for a first impression, I mean, like, first time around, yeah, I can see that being later developed into something that I would consider worth my time.
What did you like?
I liked the initial premise, the blending of several subgenres. Gunplay felt quite nice. Sound design was quite nice. Enemy designs, whilst
They weren't offensive.
they weren't offensive, they were at least varied. There was like different variations and stuff like that. But the main problem primarily becomes with its enemy design and
The boss looked far too easy.
yeah. But like all the enemies felt a bit too easy, really. I didn't feel like there was a necessary sort of like approach that I would have to take with the enemies. Like I was saying before, like if an enemy's got a shield, make it so that you can't launch them with the shield still intact.
Yeah.
Try and shoot them in the leg, knock them down so that they're having to pose down on the floor, and then you can launch them.
Well, there's a theory in gaming, right? It's that any gamer playing a game, once they find a successful way to play the game, they will use that to play it.
Yeah. And
going
like,
forward, you seem to find it very quickly.
I like to experiment. That's the thing. Like, as soon as I understood that you could launch using the F and then tether with Q and then go into the sword and then the slam relaunches again.
Right.
I was just like, okay, awesome.
That's how you chain.
I can just continuously keep them in stun and chain them over and over and over again.
Which looked fun for the first, 25 minutes that you had this then. Would that get old? I imagine so.
Very much so. If every enemy can be launched just by doing that, then yeah, it's going to get old. And just having it so that bosses can't be launched, I don't think is a smart scenario. I don't think that it's sort of like it's like an artificial difficulty. It's not difficult. It's just the fact that you just have to play the game slightly differently, and it's not really a very...
Well, it's taking away the skills that you've come to rely on, which isn't really... it's a little cheap, let's be honest.
But if you actually made it so that, like, the enemies that you were interacting with were, like, unique in the fact that they could only... You can have your generic enemies. You can have, like, your basic zombie that can always be launched and stuff like the cannon fodder. They are just the fodder that sort of, like, fill in the gaps of, like, your crazy combos and stuff
fodder,
like that.
Fodder can be fun.
Yeah, fodder can be fun if utilized correctly, if used in the correct environments and accompanied with other enemies as well. Like I said, I just want enemies to actually start. I want them from this point to diversify up there, because you only really need about 12 different types of enemy types. Like, somewhere, if you have around 10 different enemy types and actually make them so that they're all somewhat unique, or perhaps like a fusion of the two or whatever, like have slight variants of what you'd understand, then yeah, I would like that a lot. Other than that, I want there to be a bit more sort of, because of course when it comes to games like Devil May Cry, there's two very important factors. There's the enemies that you're fighting and the space that you're actually fighting in. Because in Devil May Cry, a lot of the areas that you fight in are very enclosed for a very specific reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you need to be, because you always need to be put in a scenario where you can potentially get hit out of your combo, and always have to be aware of your surroundings and like, oh, this enemy is going to attack me now, so I need to dodge on this certain part.
Yeah.
But all of the areas that I were fighting in, of course, there were like columns and stuff like that, and like little waist-high sort of like brickwork and stuff like that.
There was some decent enough variation in terms of the way the arenas looked.
But they all had the one trait that they were all very open.
Right.
They were all very sort of like, I do want to have like, having open is fine. Like Doom 2016 does have a lot of open areas, but they also have their sprawling sections where it's like narrow corridors and stuff like that as well. And I felt like you didn't really have them sort of sections.
If there's no contrast between claustrophobic corridors and wide open spaces, then you lose all reference points, right? And, so
that's basically the only other thing that I want. I sort of want the more enclosed sort of spaces that make, because you have a dodge, which is really good, and I'm assuming that dodge makes you invulnerable whilst you're dashing through them.
Yeah.
It makes
assume that the Dark Souls influence is really strong, and it certainly seems like it does.
But it makes the foot play in them enclosed areas way more important, because you can't just hold left or right or back and stuff like that. You actually need to try and utilize dodging to the sort of space that you're in and stuff like that. So it's primarily those two. But I think the gunplay feels nice. Just having that one rifle felt pretty nice. I hope they have different weapons, and I hope they have combos where you can switch in between your weapons and stuff like that. Sort of similar to Devil May Cry, style switching between stuff,
You just want a Devil May Cry.
I just want Devil May Cry, but it's a first-person shooter with guns. But initial impressions, yeah, that was cool.
That's cool.
That was cool.
Cool is good.
The ability to float in the air whilst you're shooting and have that affect your gravity and momentum, yeah, that's cool. I like that. I think that's a cool, interesting premise.
Definitely one to watch.
Definitely one to keep an eye on, yeah. I will look at it again once it leaves early access.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I will look at it on my lonesome and get my actual hands on the game itself, see what it handles like. Okay, what we're going to do, we got 1 hot minute left. Well, we'll go we'll go over a little bit. I just wanted to, there's not been much news this week at all, but I did see an interesting thing in the Gameverse, and that was the sales figures have been released for the December period regarding the Nintendo Switch, which it transpires is the best-selling console of this generation based on the numbers that it did this Christmas period alone, which is phenomenal. They are looking to be, I mean, they're doing Wii numbers, basically.
Yeah, I was about to say they haven't hit such a success since the Wii, but I think it's interesting talking about it as we're going to talk about it now. One of the things to start off with is that with the Wii, it was very early. It was pretty much right upon the Wii's arrival that I imagine that it pretty much hit the sort of sales market that it did. But then the later period of the Wii's lifespan really did peter off.
I think the novelty, perhaps, of the motion control gimmick,
the gimmick, if you will,
wore off.
But
the Switch is doing things differently.
Yeah. But it's doing a lot of stuff that Nintendo are known for, but it's doing it in a way that actually works and actually makes sense. Like, if we were to compare it, like a lot of people talk about the Wii U when talking about the Switch as well, and I owned a Wii U, and I did like it. I mean, it wasn't the best thing, but I liked it. It had cool games on there. Like, I loved
good first-party developed games.
Yeah, it had Wonderful 101. It had Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate, which is my favorite Monster Hunter. Of
course.
It had
a decent
Bayonetta 2. It had.
There was a reason why Nintendo were porting all those titles over to the Switch, because they were good titles.
Yeah, they were good titles.
It's just they didn't have that support for third-party developers, which is what the Switch seems to have addressed.
And it didn't have a player. It didn't just have a large enough install base, really. Primarily, like one of the big marketing problems with the Wii U was that they didn't make it clear what the Wii U actually was. Nobody knew what the Wii.
In fact, to articulate.
When I let my friend borrow my Wii U, and I handed him the console, he was just sort of like, "What is this?" It's like, "Oh, it's the Wii U." I thought the Wii U was the gamepad. No, it's an actual console.
They didn't help themselves with the naming of the thing as well.
Because he's like, "Oh, I've got a Wii. I can use the Wii U gamepad." I'm like, "No, the Wii U is a completely different console." It's like, what? What? Okay. So I have to use a whole new system? I'm like, yeah. It's like, but what games are going to play on it? It's like, well, I've got the game, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah.
It does feel like Nintendo have definitely learned a lesson from the Wii U.
Definitely.
They've addressed
as soon as they announced the Switch, with that initial trailer, they made it clear and concise what the Switch actually was.
It's in the name. You can, I think pitching it as a console you can play at home and one that you can play portably as well was a masterstroke. Very, very simple, but executed to perfection. And like I said, they've got that third-party development. So
everybody's queuing up to develop on that system.
It's an indie console.
It is like outside of the portability aspect. Everything else, you know what it does. It's not got like it's not a big motion gamepad sort of like crazy sort of thing. It is.
I mean,
outside of the like portability and stuff like that, it is very traditional, which makes development on it sort of a lot more straightforward, a lot more easy to understand. You do have to like sort of reconfigure your game so that it runs differently, both portable and docked. So that's the only sort of difficult thing. But even then, that's not too difficult to do. So we have a lot more tricks to help us with that kind of stuff. But of course, you own the Switch. What is it about the Switch particularly that? Because obviously it was decent enough for you to actually purchase it. But for what reason? Because for me personally, I haven't got one because I don't feel like there's enough. There are really good games on there, but again, I don't feel like there's enough third party that I'm like, okay, I could appreciate. Like, there's a huge indie scene on it, but I play all my games on a PC, so.
Yeah, again, I think so. The reason that I plumped for the console itself upon release was two reasons, and that was killer apps. Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey are two of the biggest games. Like when you look what the Wii U launched with, and you look what the Switch launched with.
Oh, it's night and day.
It's night and day. Yeah. Arguably one of the best Mario installments of the last 10 years, and arguably the best Zelda game. Some people say ever. I think it's great, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say it's the best Zelda game ever at this point.
I prefer my Zelda games with a bit of structure to them, to be honest.
But so I think having that was a big deal breaker for me. And again, having played it, mainly, I think I've docked it maybe twice. It is that portability.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it is. To me, it is strictly a portable console. I don't really play it on my TV.
Though actually,
That's for other consoles. So having that option is great, and it really has changed the way that I game now. Any title, like again, especially a lot of indie titles that I've not got around to playing, means that that a world has opened up to me that wasn't otherwise there, and I think that's why it's been so successful with so many people.
Yeah, its store layout is really done well as well. Like, because I think the problem that you have with a lot of stores like Microsoft and, of course, PlayStation 4 is when they categorize them to such an extent that you can't really find interesting titles on there anymore.
It's messy.
Especially with the indie sort of developed titles.
It's a minefield out.
But Nintendo just did the thing as like, no, these aren't indie games per se, they're games.
Yeah.
So take a look at them, you know. So
Awesome.
Indie games have. I'd be enough to say that indie games has pretty much been the forefront of the Nintendo Switch, pretty much. So.
Pretty much. They've not had to have those first-party developed games that have been like, how many Breath of the Wild can they create realistically?
Yeah.
Not many. I mean, what's on the horizon for the Switch? That you can
Metroid Prime 4.
Metroid Prime 4, but you know.
But we don't know who's developing it. I think it's
how
Namco.
long ago is that going? You know,
We've not even seen footage of it.
that release looks years away. And yeah, mostly it's ported titles from the Wii U. So yeah, it really is the indie titles.
But they won't port Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem: The Cowards. They won't do it. That's like one of my favorite Shin Megami Tensei titles, actually. I think it's really cool. Like, people are like, oh yeah, Persona. I'm like, no, Shin Megami Tensei Cross FE. Yeah. But no, it's a strong progression from... Because it's funny, because the other thing as well is that I really feel like it all owes thanks to Iwata before he passed away. He really did have the motivation to steer Nintendo in the right direction, because it was a company that could have very easily have been gripped by the board of directors and gripped by, you know, like shareholder meetings and stuff like that. Like, there are actual records of Nintendo shareholder meetings with Iwata being like, no, you know nothing about game design. The game's going to come out when the game's going to come out. Yeah. We're not going to take the mick, but if we don't feel that it's comfortable enough to actually be a successful title, that it's something that we're proud to put our mark on, then we're not going to release it. And I do respect that, as long as it doesn't end up happening like with what was it, Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, we don't talk about Duke Nukem Forever ever.
What game?
It's a cautionary tale.
When was that supposed to come out? Like 1999?
It was about 13 years a slave in development now.
Because what? It was originally supposed to be on the Quake engine?
Yeah.
And then it moved to Quake 2, and then it moved to whatever engine, well, like, no, it moved to Unreal. God, that's crazy.
It moved around a lot. And
it ran the gambit, man.
It was a dumpster fire, unfortunately. Yeah. That's what happens. Anyway, my friend, we're coming up to 10 past, so I reckon we're going to call it there.
Yeah.
Of course, Resident Evil 2.
What game are you going to be playing next week, Dan?
I was going to say, we know what game we're both going to be playing, and we will give our thoughts on that.
Okay, so we both know what we're going to be playing here. We're both going to be playing Resident Evil 2. So let me ask you a different question.
Okay.
What order are you going to play the game in? Whose campaign are you going to play first?
I'm going to play Leon's, then Claire's first, only because that is how I played it originally. And so...
That is Disc 1, to be fair.
Yeah,
that is Disc 1.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
So
see, I'm going to do it the opposite way. I'm going to start off with Claire and then Leon.
Canon, right?
Yeah, Claire A, Leon B is canon, yeah. Because I do want to end the experience on, it's up to us to stop Umbrella.
Then, I think there is no better way to end this livecast than with that eternal line.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries, man. And we will see you guys next week on the Arcade Club livecast every Thursday at 9 o'clock.
Awesome.
Take it easy, guys.
No.